What's going on YouTube? So Volvo has a pretty extensive lineup of crossovers, and right in the middle of their lineup is this Volvo XC60. This is their best-selling model, and even though this generation has always sold well, Volvo has made changes every single year since it came out. And for 2023, we have some pretty substantial ones. So with new trims, themes, and features, is this the Goldilocks Volvo CUV? Let's go ahead and find out. Alright guys, so before I get into the exterior design itself, I want to start off this video by talking about the important updates in terms of the trim structure of this XC60. It really is totally different for 2023, and I'm going to do my best to explain those differences, although admittedly it is a little bit on the order of confusing. So, our new trim levels for 2023 are going to be called Core, Plus, and Ultimate. Now those trim levels are separate from the exterior themes. There's going to be 3 themes. Those are called Base, Bright, and Dark. So basically what has happened here is Volvo has divorced the equipment from the exterior design. So it's now possible to combine the Ultimate, which would have previously been inscription level equipment, with a dark theme, which makes it look like the previous R design. So hopefully that made sense to you guys. As far as what this one is today, we have the middle trim, it's called Plus. We also have the dark theme, as you can see, so it's very similar looking to what was previously known as the R design. That does mean you get the aggressive grille up here in the front with the black mesh. You also have the totally different lower fascia, so this gives you the more sporty look on board. And of course, like I said, you can option on the bright theme to this same model if you want that more blingy look that the previous inscription had. Now in terms of the headlights, I don't have any changes to report here, so these are going to be your signature Volvo headlights. Beautiful full LED headlights with the signature Thor's Hammer daytime running light and turn signal indicator. Additionally, these do have standard adaptive abilities. So let's carry on this exterior tour with our wheels. So just like last year, we have the same updated designs ranging in size from 18 all the way up to 21-inch alloy wheels, depending on which trim level you choose. With this specific example today, we've got the optional 20-inch alloy on the Plus model. And then as I rise on up here to our mirrors, again, the dark theme is going to add the black finish for the mirrors themselves. And then the equipment level is going to be every single feature standard on every single XC60. So that means you have heating, power folding, auto dimming, and blind spot monitoring.
All right, so let's talk about the side of the XC60. So the first thing I want to mention is the overall length. We're looking at 185.4 inches, which does place this right in between, sandwiched in between the Audi Q5 and BMW X3 in terms of the overall length of it. So it is just about average for the segment. Now, as far as some of the styling elements, since we do have the dark XC60, that does mean that we're going to have the blacked out window surround. We have a blacked out roof rail up at the top, so that kind of gives you that nice sporty look. Now, of course, if you want the brighter theme, you can also chrome this out just by going for that bright model. Now, as far as the rear design of the XC60 is concerned, we did just have a pretty significant exterior change last year, so there's not going to be much different for 2023, which is certainly a good thing because this is one of my favorite designs in the entire segment. Volvo just does it right. It's classy and elegant looking. So as far as a few of the features, we have an exposed wiper here in the middle. Volvo spell it out across the back. Then let's take a look at our taillights. Some of my favorite taillights in the entire industry. They are nice vertical design, they're pretty large, and they're going to be full LED. So all of the accenting is LED. We have our brake light, doubles as our turn signal indicator as well, that's LED, and an LED reverse light in the middle. Then if we drop down, we do have a nice diffuser area, and you will notice no exposed exhaust outlets on any XC60. That was eliminated last year with the hybridization of pretty much every XC60 model. But you will notice for our dark theme here, we have a lot of dark elements going through that kind of mimic an exhaust pipe, so it really doesn't bother me that bad that there are no exposed exhausts. All right, guys, now it's time to talk about your warranty and safety information for the 2023 XC60. So for your safety information, we'll start with that because Volvos are known for their safety. They're including every single one of your systems as standard equipment on even the base XC60, so that's going to be forward emergency braking and pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, auto high beams, as well as adaptive cruise control. Now, I do want to point out, if you go for at least the Plus trim level, that adds their pilot system, which is basically a highway driving assist function, so you will have to go for the higher end models to get that functionality. Now, as far as the warranty information is concerned, signature Volvo warranty, 4-year 50,000 mile basic and powertrain warranty, plus you're also going to get 3 years and 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Well, guys, that wraps up the classy exterior design of this XC60. Now let's go ahead and check out the beautiful Swedish cabin before we take it out in a spin.
So heading up to this 2023 XC60, of course you will continue to find a standard smart entry system as well as the brand's typical key fob. You don't have the leather trim, that was eliminated last year in case you're wondering, but as far as the actual shape of the fob, it is the same as before. Now to get inside the vehicle, just grab behind the handle that will unlock the door and fold the mirrors out. And there's a good look at the cabin as a whole, and we'll go ahead and climb inside and check out all the details. Now, first things first, let's go ahead and talk about our material and color choices. So the base core trim level is going to come with a textile seat as standard equipment. However, you can option on leatherette. When you go for the Plus, what we have today, that's going to get you real leather seating. And as far as your color choices, you have the option of charcoal, maroon, or the blonde you see here today. Now, on the Ultimate trim level, that's where you'll get the full Napa leather. And when you choose that, you also have the additional color option of amber, which is one of my personal favorites. Now, as far as the real leather today, on today's example, it is very nice. As you can see, good graining. We do have some stitching details. Of course, you've got the little Swedish flag, which is cute. And then, of course, Volvo seats just remain incredibly comfortable. They are phenomenal, and I do like the design as well. Now, as far as the seat adjustments themselves, you're looking at a standard 10-way power adjusting seat. And then if you go for the fully loaded Ultimate, that's where you'll add 4-way lumbar, adjustable side bolsters, as well as a power adjusting thigh extension. But let's go ahead and look around our cabin as a whole and the materials, because this car continues to really impress in this regard. So taking a look first at our door trim, you are going to have leather across the armrest portion, of course. You're going to have soft touch plastic along the top. And actually this extends all the way to even the lower panels down here, so that's very nice. We do also have a metal speaker grille. You've got your standard 2-person memory seating, and of course all 4 windows, 1-touch automatic. Now as we go to the upper dash, today's model is finished in a soft touch plastic. If you want to get the tailored dashboard, which covers this in a leatherette, that's going to be reserved for the new Ultimate trim level this year. And as we move down, we have the beautiful driftwood, open pore wood. Absolutely love this and how it bends through the cabin. That wood trim is going to continue down here to your lower panels as well. And then you do have some piano black plastic, although this part is not padded. Now to start up the XC60, just put your foot on the brake and you're going to twist this knob right here. Now, as far as your gauge cluster is concerned, you do have a 12.3-inch full reconfigurable gauge cluster on all XC60s. This is the latest version for the Volvo lineup, so it does have big enhancements over some of the previous model years. Very visible, good graphics. You can put things like your map right there in the middle, and the design of it can be adjusted itself a little bit. Additionally, we don't have it on today's example, but if you got the Ultimate trim level, that would also bring in a head-up display. But let's come on back here to our steering wheel. Of course, we've got that signature Volvo design. They're one of the first automakers doing the 2-tone steering wheels, which I really like a lot. So as you can see, it's blonde and black. And then as far as the wheel itself, it is going to be manual tilt and telescoping across all models. If you want steering wheel heating, that's going to be available in the Climate package, which is offered on all 3 of the trim levels. But let's go ahead and check out the interior storage as well as what's new in this area. So starting out underneath the center console here, as you can see, it is decently sized for this category of vehicle. It does have a nice felt lining down the sides and along the bottom, and we also have a USB Type-C over there. But let's put it to the test. Let's get out the coupons. This is going to be rather close, but I think it's going to fit if we position this right. Yeah, so if we turn it kind of sideways there and push it in, looks like the lid will be able to close. All right, so it does pass the coupon test. Now, underneath of our big piece of wood here, we have 2 large cup holders, and this is where you're going to notice a 2023 change. The previous wireless phone charging pad has been eliminated from all 2023 60 series models. I'm assuming that's because of a COVID part shortage. I can't think of any other reason, but we're kind of back to the design it was a couple years ago where you had just the additional piece of storage right there. Of course, you can press that out of the way and you have another little bit of storage. And coming back here to the shifter, we do have the latest electronic design shifter. One of the updates is the fact that the Ultimate trim level will give you the crystal shifter. So that was previously just on the T8 models. Now you're going to have that no matter which engine you choose, if you choose the Ultimate trim level. But I've got some big news to share about the operation of this shifter. If I grab it and pull back, I can go straight into drive, and if I push forward, I go straight into reverse. There's a kind of a click that you feel in there, but you don't have to do the 2-tap and the 2-tap. That was something we complained about in the past, and I'm very, very happy that Volvo listened and they went ahead and updated this shifter to have easier operation. Anyways, beyond that, now that I'm in reverse, let's take a look at our backup camera. As you can see, this is the standard view, so you're going to have your traditional look, active trajectory, parking sensors up there, but if you tap there and go to the 360 view, there is your full view in the taking up the entire 9-inch display there. The 360 camera is going to be included on the Plus trim level and above. The mirrors do also tilt down when in reverse, and of course just press the P for park. Right behind the twist button for the starting and stopping, you do have your electronic parking brake and your brake hold function. As we move beyond that, we come to our audio controls. So as far as the systems on board, you do have a standard 330 watt 10 speaker sound system. The Ultimate comes with the 600 watt 14 speaker Harman Kardon sound system. But today we do have that as an $800 option on the Plus trim level, and we'll go ahead and give it a sample right now. Yeah, so overall sound quality of this system is excellent. Probably certainly worth that $800 upgrade. And you can also, if you really have a lot of money in your pocket, $3,200 will get you a Bauer & Wilkins sound system with 1100 watts and 15 speakers. And that one there is next level. We have sampled it in the past. Nevertheless, let's go ahead and start talking about our display here. So this is the same 9-inch display that we've seen in the past. It is standard across all of the trim levels, but just like last year, this is going to be now running the Android Automotive OS system instead of the previous Volvo Sensus system. Now, as far as the operation, it's not too different from the previous Sensus system if that's what you're used to. You still have your home screen and your various different functions throughout. We also, of course, still have our climate controls built into the screen itself, so this is where you'll make your adjustments. You can just jump your temperature, which I like that it goes in increments of 2 on only even numbers. And then, of course, you can adjust your fan speeds, whatnot. This is also where you're going to turn on your heated seats. These are going to be standard on everything except for the B5 Core model. And then if you want seat ventilation, you are going to have to upgrade to that fully loaded Ultimate trim level. Now, I do want to mention one update for the overall infotainment system as a whole. That's going to be the fact that Volvo says they've now activated the wireless Android Auto and the wireless Apple CarPlay abilities. If you remember, we were waiting on a software update, so the 2023 should have that as standard equipment. And then anybody who's already bought one of the previous ones from last year should see that as a software update and get that functionality added very soon. Now rising up top here, we do have a frameless auto-dimming mirror, HomeLink universal remotes on the Plus trim level. And then taking a look right here at the top, we have this little area here. If you swipe back on that touch-sensitive pad, that is going to roll back your sunshade for your standard panoramic sunroof. As you can see, very large. It goes all the way back past the second row headrest. Of course, the front panel is going to open up as well.
Well guys, it's always a pleasure to be in the Volvo XC60's rear seat, and of course that is going to continue for 2023 because we're going to have a very spacious rear area as well as a very luxuriously appointed area as well. So as far as the space is concerned, we're going to make 38 inches of legroom, 38 inches of headroom. So they do make it nice and easy on me to remember those numbers, 38 for both. That does place it right on par with the Audi Q5, Mercedes GLC, BMW X3, and actually, if you get on paper, it's the second row is a little bit larger than the XC90's second row in terms of the legroom figures. But as you can see, I'm 5'9", Drew's 5'8". I'm looking at probably 7 inches or so between my knees and the seat back, and my feet can easily slide up underneath the seat. Very, very comfortable overall. Now, in terms of your luxury features, I did promise you you're going to have some. So here in the middle, we do have heated rear seats. You will notice that. That's because we have the climate package on this particular XC60. If we drop down, you'll notice a little hole here. That's because we don't have the ultimate trim level. The ultimate trim level would give you 4-zone climate controls back here, so both of your rear passengers would be able to adjust their temperature. It'd be a nice little screen integrated right here. And further below that, we have 2 USB Type-C ports. Now your vents, they are going to be integrated here in the B-pillar. Then if we look at our door trim, we're going to have a nicely equipped one. It's going to be soft touch plastic on the entirety of it pretty much. And then we have a nice leather wrapped armrest. Some bottle storage down in the bottom. And then if we turn back over to our center armrest, we have a nice one. I do like that they haven't integrated the cup holders in here, so you can have the full armrest without a cup holder in the way, and they do just pop out right in the end. All right, guys, and walking up to the tailgate of the XC60, we do have a hands-free power-operated one on this model, so just kick your foot under the bumper, and thankfully they have actually put a nice little arrow on where you're supposed to kick, so I won't have to guess there. And as you can see, when you do that, it does open right up, no problems whatsoever. Now, as far as the cargo capacity is concerned in the XC60, we're looking at a very good amount of space. 22.4 cubic feet behind the second row seats. If you fold those down, you're looking at 63.3 cubic feet, which does actually make this the largest among its main rivals, like the BMW X3, Mercedes-Benz GLC, and Audi Q5. So you do have a really large amount of space. I also want to point out that Volvo has made the most out of this because you can see there we have a trunk pass-through, so if you have something really small like a ski, you can just do that and leave the seats up. You can also fold the seats themselves 60-40 split, or just use the trunk pass-through. And then you have this nice little cargo cover up top. I will point out, though, no handles in the cargo area to fold the rear seats. You're going to have to reach up and fold them. It's not too hard, that's for sure, if you're at least a decent size. Now, if you're short, you might have a really hard time folding them. Now, if we lift up the cargo floor, there's a lot of junk back here, but to lift that up, it's really heavy. We do have a spare tire. I don't know why it's so heavy, but there you go, guys. Nice cargo department in the XC60. Now, your passenger seat is going to be a lot of ways of power adjustment. We do also still have the power lumbar support. It is 2 ways, though. And in typical fashion, these Volvo seats are absolutely fantastic. Now, if we open up the glove box in front of us, my oh my, look at this glove box, guys. Absolutely massive. This is a coupon dream. Holy moly. So, first of all, our coupons are going to be happy because it's a nicely felt-lined area. We have illumination, so we can even see our coupons in the dark. And let's see our coupon of the day. Let's do some pizza and wings. 16 boneless wings for $10.99. That's a pretty good deal. So you throw those in there and use that up. And then coming up, we do have a nice sun visor. We have an LED light as well as a mirror integrated inside. And we can detach it, no extension though. Nice.
We didn't get all the way up to 60 miles an hour, of course, but there is an acceleration with this B5 XC60. So, if you watched our last year's review, you know that in the quest of getting everything in their lineup hybridized, which they have done for 2023, Volvo has replaced the previous T models with B models. That B is going to stand for mild hybrid. So what you have on board here is a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine plus a 48-volt mild hybrid system, making 247 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. Now, just like previously, though, you can scale upwards from there. So you have the B6 model, it's going to add a supercharger to the same system. And then, of course, you have the T8 recharge model, which adds additional electrification on top of that. And that takes power up, I believe, all the way up to 455 horsepower,
yeah, so
right,
yes, 455 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque for that top-end model. And then for the B6, if you're interested in that middle option, 295 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. So really healthy numbers from really all the engine options in this XC60 family.
Right, and if you want to see how in-depth driving impressions of that recharge model, we did drive that a couple months ago, the 2022 model, so you could check that out on our channel and see an in-depth test drive of that. But very powerful options, but this here is totally fine as well.
Feels pretty nice on the torque as well, and it's also a nice refined 2-liter powertrain.
Right, it's good and quiet.
And of course the mild hybrid does power things like the advanced auto start stop as well.
Right, so basically could not feel that shut down at all. And the most impressive is when it turns back on, so pay attention when this light turns green, which it should be in just a second.
Wow.
That's incredibly smooth.
Yeah. One of the best auto start stops you can get. That's really smooth, and we have the climate down low, no music playing. I mean, yeah.
You still can't hear it,
right.
And you still can't feel it, so this is an auto start stop system that you're really not going to want to turn off, and that's saying something.
Now 0 to 60 time for this B5 model is going to be 6.5 seconds. Now if you go all the way up to that top end model, you'd be looking at a 4.5 seconds 0 to 60. So just depending on what your performance level that you're interested in.
Let's go ahead and also talk about the other aspects of the powertrain. So the transmission is going to be an 8-speed automatic transmission. This is a really good transmission, nice and smooth. Really, I think one of the overall missions of this Volvo XC60, and you'll see that as we kind of cruise out more towards highway speed, is really delivering a very comfortable experience, and this is a very smooth and comfortable transmission that's not going to jar you or surprise you or anything like that. Additionally, you do have standard front wheel drive just on the B5 model, optional all-wheel drive, of course, on this, as we do have today, and you can also, goodness gracious, standard equipment on the other models.
And since front drive is standard on this B5, we do have a fuel economy rating for this one of 26 miles a gallon combined. That's going to be your best fuel economy rating in the XC60 lineup. If you go for all-wheel drive, it's 25 combined. A B6 is going to take it down to 23 combined. If you go for the top-end plug-in hybrid model, that's going to have an MPGe rating of 63.
Now would be a great time to go ahead and get a sound level reading since we are cruising at 55 miles per hour today.
Looking at 56.3 decibels. That is a very good, or 56.2, it switched on me at the very last second. That's a very good reading for any luxury vehicle. Drew, what do you think it sounds like? And just from my hearing, which I don't have as good hearing as I used to, but what do you think?
I think it sounds quite quiet in here. Seems in line with the competition. Definitely about the same as a GLC, which I think we drove on this exact same road.
All right, and I do also want to talk about your ride quality for the XC60 since we haven't talked about that up until this point. As you probably know, if you've seen any past XC60 reviews, this is a good riding vehicle. It is right in line with what the German competition has to offer, and I think something that this Volvo XC60 has that the Germans don't have are really awesome seats. These Volvo seats are phenomenal. they're awesome. They really just aid the overall ride experience because you're just so comfortable in these seats. There's nothing to complain about.
Yeah, and I want to remind you that you can also get a 4-corner air suspension as an option on this as well.
So I was just about to say, because
okay.
yeah, and that is an option, so that can even further enhance your riding experience. All right, and it is time for us to do our slam dunk and airball today. So for our slam dunk, we're just going to say there's really a lot of different avenues we could have went for the slam dunk in this vehicle, but I think the thing that stands out the most to me is just the design and the luxury inside and out. This vehicle has aged gracefully, guys. This came out, it's not a brand new off the showroom product. This is, a vehicle came out in 2018 model year, so it's quite old at this point actually, and it has aged so gracefully. It's a beautiful car on the outside, it's a beautiful car on the inside. It's still one of the best looking options in the entire segment.
Right, and on the airball side of things, I guess to me it would be the one element that hasn't aged as gracefully. It's going to be this central display. I do like the updated Google software. That's nice. So I'm not really talking about that. I'm just really talking about the size of it. It's just, back in 2018, standard 9-inch display was like mind-blowing. Now 9 inches is pretty small. We've got things that are 15 inches, 17 inches. I would like to see this expanded since everything is concentrated inside of here, including the climate controls.
And lastly, let's talk about the price of this 2023 XC60. So prices are going to be about the same for the 2023 model as compared to last year. So it's going to start at $43,450 for the new core trim level, $47,700 for Plus, $53,500 for that ultimate trim level. And those are for the B5 front drive powertrain combination. This model here, as equipped with our destination charge of $1,095, we're looking at $55,640, which is right in line with what you would get out of something like a nicely equipped German offering.
But overall, it's easy to see why the XC60 is a strong selling product for Volvo. It really is just a very well-rounded luxury crossover, and like I mentioned in the introduction, I think really the main thing that stands out to me is that Volvo is committed to making continual improvements, and I do like that they keep updating things, making things better and different each year, and that to me is what makes kind of the 2023 still feel so fresh.
Well guys, thanks so much for tuning in to this in-depth review of the 2023 Volvo XC60. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, we would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button down below. Hopefully you found this video helpful, so you want to see some more of our car content, so be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, tap the notification bell as well. And follow us on TikTok and Instagram, where we have other forms of content. Anyway, we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.